The US stock market has officially flipped to full-on bear mode. The only question is, how much farther down from here can we go? Well, I just so happen to have some numbers to run across to you and tell you exactly how big of a drop we have coming. Let's get into it. Let's take a look at the charts. All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Again, this is not financial advice, just me, Cam Foose, talking about what could happen in the markets. And I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing with my money, and you should make those decisions for yourself. I teach how to do all that stuff down below. Link's going to be there. Let's just take a look at what's going on with the US 30 as we have officially flipped over based on the Trendex indicator, which is an exclusive indicator that you have no access to. Only for me. I'm greedy. I'm sorry about that. Let's just take a look at what has happened every time the US 30 has flipped over the Trendex indicator in the last year and a half. As you can see, every time it's gone from green to red, it's down 8%, 8.5%, 11%, 9.3%, 13%, and currently we just flipped over after a record 50-year run on the US 30. And right now we have only dropped about 3% after flipping over to the bear side of the Trendex, which could lead us to believe that if we see some sort of similar pullback between 8 and 13% on the US 30, that would lead us to a low here of about 30,900 for 8%. And a 13% pullback would reach us down to about 29.2 on US 30. If we actually look at the potential pivots of actual support level here, for me, I'm looking to cover my first initial shorts between about 32.50 and the low of about 31.7 right in this range. Then we also have these levels down here between about 30,003 and about 29.6. And then obviously the lows here down at about 28.6. So those are the current levels I'm looking to be locking in gains on my short. And if we look at my MT5 here that I'm trading through our partner broker, Hedgefund, definitely check it out. Links below. I'm looking to cover my first positions on the US 30 right around the 32K mark, right down this range. As you can see, I'm currently up about $83,000 on this short, which was a crazy short to be getting into. And another thing we've got to look at here, guys, of what's going on Twitter, as I retweeted the other day, BlackRock, BLK, has said to get ready for a recession unlike any other. If you don't know who BlackRock is, they are the world's #1 largest hedge fund with $1.9 trillion in assets. And what that tells me that they're basically making that public is that on this last spike on the FOMC fake out, they have positioned themselves to either exit longs and then add to their shorts here to get ready for a big pullback in the markets. You don't go out and publicly say, get ready for some fucking nasty shit unless you are positioned for that nasty shit to make you some money. So basically, they're influencing the markets by saying that, and I'm happy to be positioned in a level of where I can make a lot of money if we do actually see a pullback and a big recession across the board in the markets, of which, if we look at the S&P 500, and we look at the flips of the Trendex here, it's between 10 to another 9%, 14%, 10%, 15%. And if we see another 15% pullback in the S&P 500, that would also correlate into a great looking dip buy zone in the support between 33.7 as well as about 3,200, of which that would be an ideal area to start buying on the dip for S&P 500, and also an area to cover your shorts if you are currently short, of which I am currently short on the S&P 500 as well. For me, kind of my game plan is to lock in a lot of my gains on US 30 right in the 32 level mark. And if we bounce, I'll continually add to my US 30 short, and I'll basically, because my position on the S&P 500 is a little bit smaller, I'll try to have a little bit more patience down to about 36. But ideally, you can see I would love to be covering my shorts down at about the 32 to 3,300 level as well. And we can see just by looking at the chart in the S&P 500, if it continues to trade in this trend, of which it had a huge fake out here after the FOMC meeting, basically we would be retesting this beautiful looking channel bottom support here down here at about 3,200, as well as retesting basically this nice pivot level of the support from back in 2020 during the COVID drop. So brief interruption here, guys. Did you know that 75% of traders have accounts under $25,000? This creates a huge problem because even if you double that account in a year, which is almost impossible, you're still only making $25,000. Introducing Hedgefund, where you can potentially get access up to $500,000 in capital. All you have to do, guys, is sign up for a challenge account, which is going to give you potentially access up to $500,000. And if you earn a 10% profit in this demo account without going into a 5% loss overall or a 4% loss in a day, you will then pass their evaluation phase and, yes, get access to an account with the selected size account. And now, instead of trying to double a $10,000 account, you could potentially earn only 10% on a $100,000 account to earn the same level of profits. And the benefits of this are huge. Rather than risking your entire $10,000 on one account, you can use just $1,000 to potentially get access to $100,000 in capital. You can trade crypto, forex, stocks, CFTs, gold, oil, everything under the sun, all on MT4 and MT5. If you're interested, if you have an account under $25,000, like 75% of traders out there, you're not going to make any money with that account because it's too small. Get access to pro level funding and pro level capital with Hydra funding. Link's going to be below. That's what I'm looking for here on the SP 500, about 15% pullback, as well as the US 30, about 9 to 12% pullback. And if we look at what's going on in the crypto markets here, we basically have we have that fake out to the upside reversal in conjunction with the FOMC meeting. And I've actually been adding to my short position here on Bybit. Basically, as I've been saying in the Telegram group, which is called the Wolf Pack, where I basically give you all my real-time alerts about what I'm doing with my own personal money. It's not meant to be copied. It's just something to actually learn and watch as I'm actually trading and implementing the strategies that I teach. But I had been adding short between about 17.2 upwards, top ticking my entry at about 18.350. And now we're coming back down. And now we're actually breaking down below this rising wedge, basically large bear flag pattern, and now starting to form what could be another mini bear flag pattern, of which we could potentially break down to the downside and then start retesting these lows about 15,450, of which then might be an area to take some partial profits on my short, and also potential area where we might actually just break down this level, retest these lows about 15,4, 15,5, retest up. We'll probably see some sort of channel that's formed down here, potentially a descending triangle, and then actually break down and then retest the new support levels about 9 to 13K, which have been my targets for quite some time. You can see there's basically just an area here where there's a consolidation of volumes of somewhere in this range between 9 to 13K. That's basically at about 5,500 as well. So really anywhere in these levels is kind of the long-term pullback target for Bitcoin. We could only go down to 13K, which is about 25% below where we are now, or potentially all the way down about 60% to 5K, which would be the lower area of this. And if we look at, the altcoins across the board, these things are going to drop between 60 and 90% as well, especially you guys, if the NASDAQ, S&P 500, and US 30 all have 15 to 20% pullbacks, that is going to be disastrous for the crypto market, especially for altcoins. So all I can say is be careful with your money out there, because if you have money right now, that's a good thing. You need to conserve your capital, because once the dust settles from this, there's going to be so much money to be made. If you don't know, I also experienced a 2008 market meltdown in stocks, which was my first experience in any sort of bear market. It was scary. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know how to trade it. After the dust settled, was some of the best money-making opportunities I have ever seen. I haven't seen anything like that since. So when the dust settles from this bear market collapse, of which I do believe we're going to continue to go lower, there's going to be so much money to be made on the upside, especially if I utilize my Krypton patterns that are basically built for bull markets. But right now I'm mostly focused on decrypton strategies, which is what I teach in my shorting course. But the focus right now should always be capital preservation, so that you do have capital to deploy once everything bottoms out, rather than losing all your money and capitulating like everyone else out there. I can see in my Telegram group, I can see in my sales, I can see in Twitter, just the level of inactivity, because I know so many people are losing their money by trying to make money and get rich in this kind of market, which is just not a good idea. I'm only using about 15% of my capital to trade right now. Everything else is sitting on the sidelines, ready to deploy when the time is right. So be careful out there. If you're trading actively, only use a small portion of your money. When things do become a little bit more predictable, you can actually take advantage of it and actually start making some big bank. Anyways, guys, that's a wrap for today. Be safe out there. I'm positioned heavily short to make a shitload of money. As I've been saying, my goal is to make at least 6 figures on this trade. I've already been up over $100,000 on this trade already, but I do believe we still have more downside. We'll see how big this gain gets, but as always, nothing is guaranteed. Who knows? Maybe the market flips around and we go to all-time highs, but I'll stop out of my position, lock in some gains and walk away and reevaluate when that comes. As always, protect your money. Be ready for a big collapse. BlackRock said so. #1 hedge fund in the world. You know what that means? That means they're fucking short as shit right now, waiting for a meltdown so they can make some bank. But anyways, guys, that's a wrap. Like, comment, subscribe. See you in the next one.